You and Chris are going to be in here talking about God knows what.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to a very special edition of the Retro Show. You remember back in the 70s and 80s when they had a very special episode, it was always something serious.
I guarantee.
But not in this case.
Sorry.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's podcast, we are in the backyard, and we will be showing you our meats a little bit later. Actually, we are actually smoking here in the backyard, meats, that is. So we have...
Far as you know. Far as you folks
So
know.
we'll have some videos put together. We'll show you those in just a little bit. Dude, what's happening?
Oh, man, it's a beautiful day.
Isn't it, though? Started off foggy and cold, but I think it's going to be perfect.
It's going to be awesome. We kind of came up with this idea, and it's just kind of progressed. And to be honest with you, it's gotten worse. It started out pretty simple, and now it's getting complicated.
And now it's like, well, we could do this and this, and I said, nah, Actually, this is a lot simpler setup than I usually put there. It is only a small amount of wires going everywhere, so there's that.
No, I was just talking about all the extras.
Oh, yeah.
We've made several trips to here and there.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, at first we're going to just do, a couple of meats, and then it's like, now we're doing, I've got ribs on there now. Chris has got a pork loin and some country-style ribs that we'll be putting
and
on
some
there.
jalapeno poppers.
And some jalapeno
Well, the
poppers.
jalapeno poppers are just kind of like snack food for us.
Yeah.
Just because that's how we roll.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Folks, on today's show, I will have a concert review of a recent trip that some of us took to Fayetteville, Arkansas to see Geoff Tate, former vocalist for Queensryche, and also Adrian Vandenberg and the Vandenberg Band were opening up for him. And Chris, I ran into some producers, actually two producers up there of the show here.
Yeah.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a sighting of Dusty Breeze.
Really?
Up there. And Bradford, the
BMF
Mason.
Yep.
Up there at the show. So
I was actually supposed to go to this show with you, but imagine me not really looking at the softball schedule. It's my daughter's senior year and her last year to play softball, and she had a tournament going and a game going, and that wasn't going to happen. So
yeah, you can't miss that.
No, I'm not going to miss that.
Sure. So folks, we're going to take a short break. We come back. After we list our producers, we're going to come back and give a little concert review, and then we're just going to talk about barbecue, because why not? And cooking out and springtime activities and just hanging out and chilling and maybe telling some stories here and there. So we'll be right back here on The Retro Show.
These are the wonderful people who support The Retro Show with a monthly contribution of $3. LNC Corporation, Roger McDougall, Melinda Hignite, Dusty Breeze, Kevin Goff, Norton, Chris V, Nancy Schwartz, Joshua Ramsey, Fran Adams, E.M., Bradford Mason, Tonya Highland. Thank you to all of our fantastic supporters. Find out how you can support the podcast by heading to retroshow.net. Thank you.
Hey guys, we're back on The Retro Show. Chris.
Yes, sir.
What is The Retro Show?
It's an homage.
It is an homage to growing up in the 70s and 80s, like we did and like a lot of you did, and we certainly appreciate you listening. You can find out more about the podcast at retroshow.net. There you can find out how to become a show producer. You can also figure out how you can buy stuff there, because we got a store.
Yeah,
we got a radio station. We got a store. And, just all of the past episodes are listed there.
I tell you, tell your friends, man. If you like the show and you enjoy watching us, tell everybody. Like I said, we're not doing this to make money, but we do like to be able to
afford to do it.
Afford to do it.
This gear ain't cheap, people.
Nope.
And that's one reason I want to actually thank, because we just thanked our producers. You saw those on there. And so if you become a producer, we will thank you on the show too, because that's honestly the least we could do is to thank you each week for, supporting the podcast.
Absolutely.
Now, if you just want to listen, you never want to give any money or anything like that, you can still support us over at our YouTube channel, which you can also get to from retroshow.net. Yep. You will find that you can subscribe, you can like episodes. But, yeah, if you could hit that subscribe button over at the YouTube, that would be fantastic, and we would certainly appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, Chris, I think the first thing I want to talk about is the trip to Fayetteville that you missed. And I kind of, for your sake, wish I could come back and say, oh, man, it's terrible. You didn't miss anything, but, man, what a show.
Well, I mean, Brad and I grew up together. Brad's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And it would have been wonderful to see him and Donna. His lovely wife, Donna.
Yeah.
And running into him in Fayetteville. I mean, I've done that several times. My son goes to the university up there, and I've run into him a couple of times up there, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, it's always a good time. And sometime it'd be fun to have Brad on the show with us.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, cameras are expensive. We don't want to break any cameras.
Yeah. Oh man.
No,
Poor
it'd be
Brad.
cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I did hear a nasty rumor that one of the Clegg brothers may be stopping by today.
Yes, I have heard so we may have a Clegg sighting later on that we can put into the podcast. Chris has
really well.
He has a cold beverage.
Yes.
On a nice day. So let me go ahead and tell you about. Like I said, I'm gonna be showing some clips of the show during this podcast. So get ready for that. But before we get into that, I'd like to talk to you about concert etiquette and how you should behave at a concert. Now, we had an incident, and I'm going to go ahead and tell the story here, Chris. And I told you about this.
So before you tell that story, most of the people on here grew up like we did in the 80s, going to concerts.
Right.
Everything was general admission, guys. I mean,
and there were rules for general admission.
Yeah, and you didn't break those rules.
You didn't break those rules.
It got kind of crazy in the 90s, and I think that's why they changed it with all the mosh pits and stuff. We didn't grow up in that. I didn't grow up in that.
No.
But, if you wanted to brave it and go to the front
just get ready.
Get up really close to the crowd back in the 80s, you could do that. But it was going to be crowded. It was going to be hot.
Yep.
It was going to be sweaty. But you didn't have an assigned seat. I mean, you just found wherever you wanted to sit and
we
go.
would get there at times because I always wanted a seat, but I was picky about what seats that I wanted.
See, I never got a seat when I finally got out of the seats.
Yeah.
I'm going with my older brher.
Yeah.
Because I had to stay in the seats when I went with him.
Yeah.
Because he was doing things that he didn't want anybody to know.
He didn't want anybody to know about.
But, I always stood right around the soundboard. It was always in the center of the stadium. And you could always count on the music sounding the best there because the sound engineers are there tweaking everything. And
it's going to sound good to them.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. So,
speaking of which, when we went to see Boston, we were kind of behind the soundboard there.
We were.
And the sound quality was
incredible.
Excellent. But back to this. So the venue we went to see Geoff Tate was JJ's Live in Fayetteville. And I have a lot of good things to say about this because it's meant to be a concert venue. It didn't have like a built-on restaurant or anything like that.
Right.
It was just a concert venue. So it was very good for that.
Was this outdoors? Was this
no, it was not. It was
indoors?
It was all indoors.
Yeah, they've got that outdoor garden back there. I've been there.
Yeah.
I have seen the venue. They've got that outdoor, which looks really cool for a summertime concert.
show.
Look cool.
But anyway, so let me tell you the story of what happened. And so I have to preface this by telling you that my son Ryan has autism, okay? And so you need to know that going into this and why things progressed like they did. So we had rented a table in the back there. And during the course of the opening at Vandenberg, we had a guy that was sitting at the next table over who was on something. He wasn't just drinking. I'm telling you. If I was guessing, I'd say probably X or something like that. But he was tripping. Okay, so he was like overly friendly with everybody, and he went up and he hugged up on some guy's wife, and that didn't go great, but he managed to not get beat up on that. But I'm kind of watching this out of my periphery. Well, Ryan is sitting in front of me because we've got our chairs turned at the table to all kind of face the stage, so he's like directly in front of me. Well, dude comes up and starts like pulling on Ryan, you know, and trying to get him to come up and, you know, dance around with him and stuff. And Ryan says no. Well, dude is persistent. And so, like in a shot, I'm around the corner and I've got my hand on his chest and I'm walking him back, which, if you know me, is not really like me. Because I know at 57 years of age, if there's any physical altercation, I'm getting hurt. Whoever wins or loses, I'm getting hurt. And so it's basically my wife and my kids and my dog are about the only reasons I will throw hands. So, you know.
Right.
And so I was backing him up, but luckily he wasn't, I want to fight you drunk. He was just, I want to be friends with everybody. But, you know, I was very plain. I had to say, look, dude, this is a young man with autism. You're freaking him out. And so this stuff stops like right now. And he was respectful of that. But later on, I think he messed with so many other people, security had to come up and have a conversation with him. So, you know.
He was over the top.
All I'm saying is, folks, if you're going to go out, have a good time, but don't be a pain to other people and be an annoyance to other people.
Yeah.
You
have
know,
fun.
Have
fun, but you got to have fun in your own little bubble.
Have fun and boundaries. Yeah.
So.
In your little world.
No, man, I mean, to be honest with you, that I tell people this story all the time. This is not really concert etiquette, but this is how things rolled back in the day.
Yeah.
My first concert, I've said on here before, was Kiss in '79. It was in Pine Bluff. Went with my older brother and several of his friends. I had to sit in the stands. I couldn't be down on the floor. But Kiss, I was a huge Kiss fan. Shout out to Keller Johnson. We both grew up with Kiss, baby, you know. But they played Firehouse.
Yeah.
And Paul Stanley had on this cheap plastic Kiss Firehouse helmet. And he finished the song, he's like, Firehouse, woo! And he's just frisbees it out over the crowd. And it comes flying towards us, and right in front of me and Lance Howell, these two guys catch it at the same time. One on either end. Bam! They catch it.
Oh, the fight was on.
And they look at each other, and one dude looks at the other one and goes, bam! And the fight is on, Jack, and they start throwing.
Oh,
and this other little guy grabs the helmet and takes off through the crowd with it. Just stole it. Neither one of them got the helmet.
Neither one of them got it.
All
they got was hurt.
I'll never forget that. That
That's
was
funny.
Wild. Yeah. Knock down, drag out.
Knock down, drag out. So I say Dusty Breeze was there. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to call him out.
Don't out him. Don't out him. It's like his super secret identity.
You know what? I'm not. But Dusty Breeze was there. Dusty Breeze hung out with us that night. And Dusty Breeze.
I'm going to tell you, I've hung out with Dusty Breeze at a concert before. Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yeah. It was good to catch up with him. But so let me just get into the part about the concert itself. So Adrian Vandenberg had his own band in the early 80s called Vandenberg.
I remember
that. A kind of a minor hit called Burning Heart that was on the radio at the time. He then later on became Whitesnake's guitar player for a number of years, like during their height. So
they tore it up in the 80s too.
Yes, and so like he's in those videos for like In the Still of the Night and all of that. And so he's in, he was in Whitesnake in kind of in their peak.
You know that song In the Still of the Night, to this day, when it comes on, the way it starts, you just immediately hit the volume. You crank it up. Just one of those songs.
It is. And so he did that. He did also he did a mixture of Vandenberg and Whitesnake songs. And the singer he got at this point in David Coverdale's career, they should hire that guy to just be in the back singing and David, mouthing the words. Because
I haven't even seen anything from Whitesnake in years.
I saw Whitesnake about 5 years ago. And his voice was shot. He just could, Now, I don't know if that's the case all the time or, because, being a singer, sometimes your voice just ain't going to play.
Well, I mean, you got allergies, you got
Yes.
A lot of respiratory stuff going on. It can
There's a lot of things, but when we saw him, he was not sounding great. Although a friend of mine told me a few days later he saw him and he did sound great. So, it probably was just a whatever, sinuses. But this guy that he had singing for, Adrian Vandenberg had singing for him, phenomenal singer, sounds like David Coverdale. He was able to mimic the sounds of like the Vandenberg and the Whitesnake songs perfectly. The guy was good. Had a good, solid band. Adrian Vandenberg hasn't missed a beat. He's probably getting close to 65 or so now, I'd say, and still, man, plays great. So, yeah.
We ain't far off of 60 ourselves.
No, we are not. I'll be 58 in June.
I'll be 57 in
if
May.
I make it. So, yeah.
If you make it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to hear that stuff.
But... So, yeah, Vandenberg, great opening act. It was really fun. Now, let me go ahead and tell you what happened when I walked into. So now we're going to get into Geoff Tate, but I have to do this rabbit chase. When I walked into the merch table, Geoff Tate has a very distinctive look. He's a distinctive-looking dude in the face. So I saw this young lady back there, and she's selling the shirts, and I walk up and I say, I hope you don't mind me asking. I said, but are you related to Geoff? And she laughed. She goes, yeah, it's like they Xeroxed his face and put it on me. So he had his daughter selling. It was like a family roadshow,
Heck yeah.
And Geoff had
child labor.
Child labor. Saying. Yeah. She was probably close to, she might have been 40.
Child labor.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Because Geoff is 65 now. So, and so, if you were a fan of Queensryche, now he parted ways is what I mean. He didn't left. They parted ways about 10 or so years ago, and it was not amicable. So, matter of fact, he toured. There were two Queensryches on the road at the same time for a little while because they were both fighting former members that were not the singers and him, who was the singer, who had started the band. So, there was a fight there. He ended up losing that, so now he's touring as Geoff Tate. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to hear those old Queensryche songs, and I'm a big Queensryche fan.
Yeah, me too. I put them in the same category with Pink Floyd. They do. What do you call it? Hang on. Theme albums.
Yes.
The whole album's a theme, and I really like that.
Yeah. Speaking specifically of Operation Mindcrime, which was a concept
Empire
album.
Was the same way too.
Yeah, Empire definitely had a theme. But it was getting back to the show, though, and like I said, I'm playing some clips in and out of here as I'm editing these in later. The magic of editing.
It's all done with mirrors.
It's all done with mirrors, people. Smoke and mirrors. But he still sounds every bit as good as he used to, and he has a band of young guys. And I know why he did this, because it costs money to tour. And I guarantee you, I didn't see much road crew there because we got there kind of early and I was watching. And I saw some of these guys on stage where they're members of the band. So he gets these young guys who have strong backs.
So they're setting up their own equipment.
They're setting up their own equipment and stuff, but talented. Oh my gosh, his band was good. And so, as far as concert review goes, A+. He's going to be touring this whole summer throughout the U.S. and over in Europe and UK. So if you get a chance to go see Geoff and you're a Queensryche fan, you owe it to yourself to go check him out. Because, honestly, I think Geoff Tate is probably, this is just my own personal ranking there, he's one of my top 5 hard rock / metal singers out there. Which, by the way, you said Pink Floyd. One of the encores was "Welcome to the Machine." Oh yeah, that he did.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day. I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. I love it. I never got to see him. This is a shout out to my wife. She said that if the Eagles ever got back together, she wanted to go see them. Yeah. And I was like laying there going, they ain't getting back together. That ain't never happening. And the Division Bell tour was happening, and I was coming home to buy tickets for the Division Bell in Dallas, and they announced the Hell Freezes Over tour. Yeah. And I couldn't do both. So, baby, I love you. I gave up Pink Floyd to take you to see the Eagles. So.
Well, now we're going to let the cat out of the bag. You and I are going to see Brit Floyd.
Yes.
Who are coming, and they're actually touring right now the 30th anniversary of the Division Bell.
I can't
for
believe
this
it's
concert.
Been 30 years.
I know.
I really can't.
So, Brit Floyd, if you don't know, is one of the better Pink Floyd tribute bands out there, and I figure at this point in the game, it doesn't look like Roger Waters and Mason are going to be touring Pink Floyd anytime soon. So
I really wish they would do it one more time.
Yeah. So
and I would pay any amount of money. So.
But Brit Floyd is an excellent tribute band. We're going to go check them out in May. We'll probably have a concert report on that as well.
Is the whole crew going? Did everybody announce they were going on that?
Yes, our entire crew. I bought 6 tickets.
That's going to be awesome.
So
it's going to be epic.
I got 6 tickets, and it'll be a lot of fun. It's that half. They set up the arena in the half theater thing, so there are no bad seats.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
So yeah, it's going to be
fun.
fun.
It's going to be good.
So anyway, folks, that's my concert review. Geoff Tate, excellent. If you get a chance to see him on the road, by all means, check him out. Now let's talk smoking meats and barbecues. And now this was, I'm going to be honest, growing up, we did this a lot with my family.
Yeah. My dad always had a grill rolling.
You know, I think it was very prevalent back when we were kids because, honestly, your entertainment choices were limited back in the day and what you could do with your free time. And I just think people visited more back there. You had friends over more. So my parents had a group of friends that they would bring. It's like Dad was cooking out all the time. But one of the things I wanted to get into is I wanted to kind of open up a little can of worms here, possibly with some regional differences. If you're up north somewhere and someone says, come on over, we're barbecuing, and you'll show up there and they have like hamburgers and hot dogs. In the South, if you tell somebody, hey, come on over, we're having a barbecue, and you try to give them a hot dog, you might get your butt kicked. I'm just telling you.
No, listen, man. Nothing against hot dogs. I like a good hot dog on the grill. I'm not gonna lie to you, but down here,
that's grilling for us.
Yeah, it's different.
You know,
usually it involves smoking meats or something to that effect.
But barbecue to me is heat and time.
Yes.
Low heat and time, and grilling is
an adult
rocket hot,
a tasty adult beverage. Just saying.
Well, that could be a grill out or a barbecue.
That's true.
That's true. Or pizza, or anything really. So there's that.
A piece of hard candy.
A piece of hard candy. Speaking of Northern and Southern, we actually had one of our producers, Chris B., reach out today, and I'm going to pull this message up that she sent us. She said, just wanted to say another great episode. After I added so many songs to my Spotify playlist that were hidden in the closet of my brain waiting to be let out again. Also, coincidentally, I happened to hear Sting is playing Philly after listening, and all I can hear is y'all singing Roxanne. Guys, check out the last episode, the top 100 Billboard songs of 1981, and it just devolved into karaoke at a couple of
Chris
points.
B., I just want to point out that we do have a store, and they do sell Team Chris shirts there, so go ahead and pick yourself one up.
That's funny. And then she also made a point to say, Northerner using y'all here. Chris, I have to say that your use of the contraction y'all was spot on perfect and used excellently. So,
I mean, I don't really know any other way to talk there, Butch.
Well, that's us, but
I don't know any other way to do it.
use guys or something like that.
Oh man, your brother-in-law lives up north. Has he changed?
Oh, Rick?
Yeah.
Rick. Rick's one of them now, man.
Is he?
Yeah, he's one of them.
Man,
Although when he comes back down here, he starts to pick up a southern accent the longer he spends down here.
It was good. It's been about a year or so back he was here and got to talk to Rick. Y'all, I grew up with his brother-in-laws and his wife, but I grew up more with his brother-in-laws than his wife. But I love Ricky and Ronnie both. They're both awesome dudes.
Yeah.
Love
They're all right.
Rick.
They're okay for in-laws,
Well,
They'll do.
I'm sure you're their favorite brother-in-law. So
I don't know about that, but I'd like to say I'm in the top 3. I think they have 3, so
that's awesome.
So guys, but we are grilling out today, and so we're going to take a little bit of moment of time to show you some of the prep work that we did and going into this. So watch this little video of us doing our barbecue prep. And that's how we're going to close the show today. Is
barbecue prep,
the barbecue prep, and the
barbecue finished product,
and the barbecue finished product.
I like
also,
it.
We're going to add that. Listen, guys, thanks for watching, listening. However you take in this podcast, it is certainly something we don't take for granted, and we have a lot of fun doing this. So join us. We try to, and we were kind of late this week getting one in, but we try to get one out every week. So we appreciate all of your time listening. And look forward to seeing you next time here on the Retro Show.
AMF, guys.
Jalapeno poppers. Cannot go wrong there. Country style ribs and a pork loin. I have St. Louis style ribs out there. So let's take a look. You got your binder.
We're going to do the Holy Voodoo on the country style ribs.
Okay.
From Meat Church. And from Meat Church, honey hog barbecue for the pork loin. Got a little saucy. I'm going to braise these after they smoke and almost come up to temp, and then we're going to braise them in the sauce.
For my St. Louis style ribs, I got Kinder's brown sugar. So that's
brown sugar.
We didn't record that part, so it's probably good. All right, you're adding a binder here, right?
I am.
Some people, I've done with and without binder. And I think a binder helps things to kind of just stick a little bit. You're not going to taste that mustard when it gets through cooking. So if you're worried about having a mustard flavor there, you're not. I can tell you that other people have tried other binders that I've watched before. And some of them is like mayonnaise, and some people use a ketchup.
Yeah, some people use olive oil. Anything that will make the seasoning adhere.
The only thing is, if you're going to be cooking at high heats, the ketchup may burn because of the sugar in it.
Yeah.
And I've never been brave enough to try mayonnaise as a.
I'm not. No.
That sounds like a real Alabama thing to do.
It does. Got a towel here.
They have that sauce that they make in Alabama, that Alabama white sauce, which I've never tried before, but they love that stuff on some chicken there when they barbecue.
I've never tried it either.
Just seasonal differences, or seasonal.
Seasonal differences?
Seasonal. Regional differences. You ignorant wretch, your English is worse than your Spanish. Yeah. We know what movie that came from.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you're about to hit this loin with?
The honey barbecue.
Oh, man.
Honey barbecue.
And you're not going to be shy about it either.
No, it's a big piece of meat, man. It's going to be able to handle all of this.
All right.
So it's going to be pretty liberal. Get all the sides. What do you think? How do you think it's going to be?
Man, I think that's going to be fantastic.
Two.
We got fire and pig, man. Two things that go together. Fire and pig.
I like it.
I like it. I like it a lot. You probably need to wash your hands, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wash them again. I got to wash them again. I'm just rinsing them off. I guess I need to wash them. I need to get this shit out of here.
That porky.
On here, good.
Yeah. So you're gonna put a little black pepper on there because, yeah, you should.
It's gonna catch smoke too.
Yeah.
Which is what we want.
It is.
It is what we want. That's what we want. I'm gonna have to wash my hands again.
Again, it seems to be, yeah. Whenever you're barbecuing, man, I always have what I call the barbecue rag.
And I've got a barbecue rag in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Since I'm using a mustard binder,
Yeah.
I think I'll just wash them and then wipe them. What do you think?
I think, man, it's peppered up beautifully.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. This can sit.
Yeah.
So
That can sit. All right. So now we're gonna season up these country style ribs. Man, I love country style ribs. They basically what they are is they're pork butt that's been sliced up.
it's got the bone in it too.
Yeah, bone-in pork shoulder. It's been sliced up, and man, they're really good.
They are good.
In some ways, I prefer them to regular ribs.
I do too.
But
Pull that sleeve up.
Debbie really likes.
Pull
Do what?
Pull that sleeve up.
Surgery.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay, a little binder on those, right?
Yes. Slather.
Yeah. If you hear anything in the background, folks, my son's playing a Batman game. So there you go. Oh, Spider-Man. I'm sorry. Usually it's a Batman game, but lately it's been Spider-Man.
We're gonna pepper the. Well, I'm gonna put the binder on first.
Yeah. Yeah, rub them down real good.
Don't be afraid to get in there with your meat.
Show the meat some love. These are probably going to be edited down to like a bit. Nobody wants to. That's the one thing on the YouTube videos, man. It's just like, get to the point.
Right. I'm with you 100% on
You know.
that. I just don't know. You know, you got to have a lot of roll to put something together.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
Ooh, that needs to come off.
Yep. Just use your fingers. Rip that sucker off.
The butcher should have done a little bit better job on that.
Yeah. You still have the knife over there?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
here, I'll get it.
Which
Teamwork makes the dream work.
right. I'm still going to wash my hands. I have to wash one anyway. So can you open that holy voodoo?
Yeah. So you're going to hit the ribs with the Meat Church
Holy
voodoo.
voodoo.
Holy voodoo.
Yeah.
That is a good rub, man. That's a good all-purpose rub. But man, you talk about for pork, you just can't hardly beat it. It's also good for chicken too. If you do chicken on, you grill some chicken.
I don't know who would do chicken.
I would.
Chicken's disgusting.
Yeah. I know. Chris has an aversion to chicken.
It's the way they scratch around on the ground. Pick up worms. I'm not cup of tea.
You ever seen a pig eat?
I'm not talking about pigs, Butch.
Talking about nasty chickens.
Nasty chickens.
Oh man, you know what else that would be good on? You'd have to be kind of careful with it. But I'm thinking if you wanted to do some shrimp
Oh yeah.
with that on there and put that on the grill, on a hot grill, man, that would be very good.
Guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, he's got videos on YouTube, Meat Church Barbecue,
Oh.
and it's awesome because he does all these rubs, but he cooks and that stuff looks good. And this is basically his recipe for the country style ribs.
Yeah.
And I love country style ribs, so
There you go.
okay, well, we're gonna give it a
So
shot.
shout out Meat Church Barbecue. I know it's almost like they're sponsoring us, and
But they're not.
wouldn't it be cool if they did though?
That would be cool.
You know, well, he's kind of got his own YouTube thing. Yeah.
He does.
That's
I mean,
gonna
he's
happen.
sponsored by Traeger. He's sponsored
Yeah.
by Light Beer from Miller,
Yeah.
which I think is incredibly awesome. What do you think?
Man, looks delicious.
I think we need to hit those with the holy
I
voodoo. When we
think-
put those on, we're gonna use the holy
Yeah,
voodoo on.
we're not going to show us doing that. You've seen us sprinkle stuff before, but I think we're going to hit that with Holy Voodoo, and we are going to be doing.
how that sweated. Oh my God, that's gonna be so good. What you think?
That'll work, brother. All right, just lit it up.